to my channel. I am so happy right now, but I was not happy like 30 minutes ago. I was a train wreck and complete psycho bitch on PMS. But I'm happy now and I'm going to show you why. My husband came home with this puzzle to me as a gift. And I can't believe that he gave me a gift because I have been a nightmare to be around. I have been so mean and so mean. And then he went out to get me a gift to say, I'm sorry for being such a struggle to you when I'm the one who should be giving him a gift and thanking him for putting it with me. But nevertheless, I am doing this jigsaw puzzle right now, and you guys, it is the most difficult puzzle I've ever done. I mean, look at the pieces, they are so irregular. And it's like the same color for everything. I mean, these elephants are adorable, but it's so difficult. But it's a fun challenge, and I'm really excited. And as you can see, I got started right away. I just got home after a manicure, and usually I keep my nails natural, but I feel like having some color for a couple of days, so let's see which one to pick. I have a pretty extensive nail polish stash because I'm a little obsessed. Or I was obsessed. Now I just don't use color that much, but I'm thinking something fall inspired, like plum or maybe beige. Right now I'm choosing between these three. These are all OPI. The Diva of Geneva, it's the Catherine the Grape, and Amsterdam. The final result, I chose the color of Amsterdam, and I'm really happy with the result. It's kind of a plum-ish color that I think goes great to fall. What a weekend I had. I had no idea that I was going to get so affected by PMS because according to my cycle, PMS should have already started, but I guess that the herbs were delaying it, so I didn't get it until Saturday and Sunday, and it was supposed to have started like maybe Tuesday or something, and it just came like a surprise, and I wasn't ready, and I just turned into a full-blown psycho for 1.5 days, and I'm so sorry to my husband for everything I did and everything I said, and I'm sorry to myself for everything I did and everything I said. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but I know I spoke about it in the previous episode and said that I didn't have any PMS, and I was so happy about that, and then it just kind of came. Anyway, a good thing is that it was only like, it was a very short amount of time that I had it, and I'm really grateful for that, because otherwise I can have like really long periods where I feel like a demon. But now, so I started my cycle yesterday, and it's so funny because when I woke up in the morning, like all of these vicious thoughts and my mood was just gone. Like I felt so good in the morning, and I was so shocked because I mean hormones, what are they really doing to us women? It's like men never get to experience these things. I just think it's so unfair that we get to have these issues and men just walk around being men and that's it. However, I have a doctor's appointment today, and I am going to, I don't know, debrief them about how I've been feeling lately. And during the PMS in the weekend, I actually had a really high pulse and heart palpitations, and I was super anxious. So I'm going to talk about that, and I'm also going to mention that my stomach is still not moving as it should. Apart from that, I had an amazing week last week, and I just don't think that there is that much like left to treat, as far as I can see. However, they have their special tricks that they do to see how I'm doing, and I'm just gonna trust the process. Basically, for me, I feel pretty okay right now, but we'll see what they have to say. So I will see you after the appointment and give you a little recap then. It's later in the day, and I was at the doctor's earlier today, and I got really positive feedback. I'm not fully healed yet, but she thought that maybe I had like 3 more weeks to go, and the feedback for today was really good. My pulse was good, and I'm responding well to the treatment. So I got another batch of herbs, and I also got another batch for my cycle. So I don't know if you remember them, but in a couple of episodes ago, I got a separate bag for heavy menstrual flow. So I got one of those, and I also bought this tea. Because my stomach isn't really working, even though I'm having the herbs. So apparently this is going to help with constipation. And I'm sorry if that's TMI, but I think it's important to talk about. Like, people don't have regular bowel movements, and it's important to have like a good flow of energy in your body. And if you don't go to the bathroom as you should, you get a lot of stuff stuck in there, and not just food waste, but other toxins and just things that don't belong in your body. And that's also energy that can make you experience like issues with your mental capacity. So for me, it's important to work on these things and make it work. So I'm going to take this in the evening on an empty stomach, and that will hopefully help me go to the bathroom in the evening. So thank you for that. What else? I got acupuncture as usual, and nothing specific about that. She just put the needles where she usually puts them, 1 in each arm, 2 in each leg, and I think it's 4 on the stomach and 1 up here in the head. Yeah, I think that's it for the appointment. And I also wanted to talk about some changes that I have done recently after being really stressed and having a high pulse and heart palpitations and trouble sleeping. I decided to cut back on caffeine. So I'm having almost no caffeine at all right now. I also decided to cut back on social media in the evening because that can make me really stressed. So around 7 or 7:30, I will stop checking my phone, and I try to go as long as I can in the morning as well before I log into anything. And that actually makes me feel really good. So, I mean, it's difficult to avoid social media when it's a big part of your life and a big part of your job specifically, but I don't think that we need to use it late in the night. So for me, it's definitely a game changer when it comes to a good night's sleep. I also did some changes to my diet, and I noticed that when I eat too much food in the evening, I get too much energy, which makes it harder for me to go to sleep. So I have a smaller meal in the evening, and I try to eat as early as possible, and if I can, go to bed with a little bit hungry stomach, because if there is food in the gut and in the stomach that is being processed, it's difficult for the body to slow down and start producing that sleep hormone. So that's another thing that I did. And I also am a huge fan of using a diffuser with lavender oil in my bedroom before I go to bed. That is amazing. So those are a little bit of the changes that I made. And since we are talking about stress, and that was a big part of my episode last week, I was thinking that I was going to focus on de-stressing methods in this episode. So I'm going to share some of my favorite tips and tricks, and what I like to do when I want to de-stress, and what I try to avoid when I'm too stressed. So stay tuned for that. Wow, that must be goji berries, right? These look cool. And these little seeds, like the green ones, I have not seen them before. They look like some herb, like oregano or something. Like, I'm just guessing here. So these are my new herbs. As you can tell, this is a raisin, right? Okay, cool. And this is not all. In here, also have herbs for period. So I'm gonna pour that stuff in here as well. Doesn't this look like the yummiest blend, right? Come on, this one is seriously creepy. Like, I gotta find out what this is. If you know what this is, please comment, write in the comment section down below. I just want to know what these things are. So since I'm focusing on de-stressing methods in this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I manage stress. And first off, I'm clearly not an expert at this, since I had a mental breakdown a couple weeks ago, but I do have some general things that I like to do when I get really stressed or anxious, so just want to discuss them a little bit today. But first, I want to start with talking about what not to do when I get stressed. And I also want to note that these are things that work for me. So I'm not saying that it works for everyone, or that it's like something that everyone should do. But these are things basically that work for me, and things that I assume would also work for other people. In general. When I get stressed and anxious, there are 5 things that I absolutely try to avoid at all costs. The first is to read or listen to anything that is educational, because that will set my mind into a spinning loop. And when I'm stressed and anxious, I just want to avoid more information in my brain and more things to think about. So I try to avoid that as much as I can. The second thing I absolutely try to avoid is picking up my phone. And that's because scrolling never leads to anything good. It's just a waste of time, and most of the time you will see something that makes you even more anxious. You will compare yourself to someone, you will see how perfect someone did something, you will be reminded of something that you had to do, someone you needed to call, or whatever it might be. So that's also something that I try to avoid as much as I can. So if I'm very stressed and anxious in the evening, I also want to focus on not watching anything on TV that makes me stressed. So if it's like any stress or fast-paced or triggering stuff in any movie or series or anything, then I try to avoid that as much as I can, or I will watch one episode of that and then finish off with something a little bit more calmer before I go to bed, or just read a book. Loud noises. I get so anxious by loud noises, and that's just in general. I do not like loud noises. I do not like when it's like too much chaos around me. So when I'm anxious, that is heightened. And what I usually do is, of course, if I'm alone, I can just be in silence. That's pretty easy. But if we are two people at home, I can ask my husband to turn down music or TV or whatever it is. If I am out and about, of course, it is more difficult, but you just have to make the best of the situation, right? So loud noises are no. Eating. So as a person who used to, and still sometimes do, use food as a substitute for my feelings or dealing with my feelings, eating when stressed is terribly wrong. It actually makes you associate chewing and eating with getting calm. So if I do that when I'm stressed, I will just keep doing that. And you're not supposed to eat because you're stressed. You're supposed to eat because you're hungry. And just to break that pattern, I usually say no to myself. If I'm anxious and I feel like I want to go run and get a snack or something to chew on, I'll just try and stop myself. That doesn't always happen, so don't beat on yourself if that happens to you as well. Of course, I have my moments, but it's like a general little rule that I try to go by as much as I can. And the last thing, caffeine. I mean, caffeine, heart palpitations, and stress, it's a really bad combination. So if I'm stressed, if I'm anxious, I will have no such thing as caffeine. I will have calming tea, herbal tea, water, hot chocolate, like whatever I can find that has no caffeine in it. And that also goes for sugars and those other kind of stimulants as well, of course. So what do I do to de-stress when I'm already in an anxious state? What do I like to do? Well, first thing is you need to break the thought pattern in your head. And the easiest way to do that, no matter where you are, is to just get up and just move around a little bit wherever you are. It's pretty easy to just stand up and just move around a little bit. You don't have to do anything special. You can go into the bathroom and just wash your hands or whatever. But just breaking that pattern going on in your head. And I also, when I do that, I also try to check in with myself. Am I breathing properly? So just taking a deep breath with my stomach, like all the way down, and making sure that I am supporting my body as much as I can during that stressed phase. And that's that's a simple thing you can do. So that brings me to number 1 on my list, which is meditate or breath work, or both at the same time. So I've been doing meditations and breath work for a couple years. So for me, it's like I already have the routine. But for someone who doesn't, it's pretty easy to find like one video on YouTube that you like, that you can just put on every time you get stressed. You can do the same one every time. It doesn't have to be different ones. There are many good meditations for free, and I can list some down below that I like to do. But just to take a break, and it doesn't have to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you have time for. But just getting out of the loop and just listening to somebody else. And also what I find works really well for me when I'm stressed is to listen to somebody else guiding me. So not doing a meditation by myself, but to listen to somebody else telling me what to do, how to breathe, or whatever. Number 2, stretch, move my body. That is amazing to calm the nervous system. It can be stretch, just get up, stretch your legs, whatever it feels good. Or you could do like a small class, like Pilates, a stretch class, a yoga class, even go to the gym and move around if you have the ability and the time to do that. That is amazing to relieve stress. And I can link some nice YouTube yoga flows that I love to do that are really like easy for everyone. Just stretching your body and just getting out of that thought pattern again. So that's something that I absolutely love to do when I'm stressed. Number 3, play music. Make a playlist on your Spotify or iTunes or whatever you use with songs and music that are soothing for you. So whenever you get stressed, and this is a really good thing if you are out and about, if you're at work or if you're on the commute or just among other people, so just put your AirPods in and listen to your favorite soothing playlist that is like so healing. And I actually have a playlist that I made because I get insomnia sometimes, and that's the playlist that I usually listen to at night when I can't sleep. And I also go to that playlist during the day if I get really anxious and stressed. Number 4, aromatherapy and a diffuser. That is so amazing. Using aromatherapy and scents, smell, oils on your body, just giving yourself a rub somewhere with a nice oil. That is amazing. And I use lavender for everything. I am obsessed with lavender. So almost every night, not every night, but a lot of the time, I put lavender oil in my diffuser in the evening, and I let it sit for the entire evening and throughout the night, because it's amazing to use lavender oil as a soother in the evening, and I sleep like a baby most of the time when I do this. Okay, number 5, walking. How amazing is walking? I mean, seriously, it has saved my mind so many times. Of course, the best thing is to walk in the forest, because that is so healing for our entire body, our nervous system, and everything. But if you can't get to the forest, of course you can walk anywhere. I mean, just getting out is the point. And if you can get out, just walk around in your apartment a little bit. Put on your soothing playlist, walk around. It's amazing. So all of these methods are amazing, but there is a tool that I like to incorporate with them to make them even better, and that is crystals. Now, I use crystals for many things in my life, and I love them so much. I have them all around my home. They're so beautiful and they make me so happy. But there are a couple crystals that I love to use, especially for healing and de-stressing. So I just wanted to show you a couple of them. And the first one is the Golden Healer. I mean, you can just hear at the name, Golden Healer. It's amazing. It is so beautiful. It is so soft. And it's basically a cosmic hug. That's how they describe it. So just imagine when you're stressed and anxious and you get this warm hug from the universe, how amazing is that? You don't have to feel trapped by anybody holding you or whatever. You just do it all on your own. You just pick up your golden healer and it's done. Amazing. And the second crystal that I love to use is like my favorite crystal in the world. It's the amethyst. And I mean, look at it. How can you not love this? I have so many amethysts in my home. I'm obsessed with them. I love them so much. I even have this ring that I got from my grandmother with a crystal, with an amethyst stone in it, and I love it so much. I wear it almost every day. Amethysts radiate harmony and balance, and it's a very soothing crystal. So surrounding yourself with them is amazing if you have a tendency on being stressed and anxious. Next crystal is the hematite. This is a very special crystal. It's actually very good for healing. And I use this a lot in the beginning of my healing journey because it regulates blood and blood pressure. And I was anemic, so that's why I love this so much. This crystal is also very good at regulating your mood, which is specific for anxiety and stress. It's also a very grounding crystal, so I recommend to sleep with this under your pillow. I do that every single night. And then I have this one. It's pretty similar to the amethyst, but this is a lepidolite. And this crystal actually contains lithium, which is an ingredient for patients when getting medication to relieve stress. So I can very much recommend this one. Rose quartz, self-love, acceptance, also like a hug, but it's more about self-love and just accepting yourself and accepting the state you're in and how things are. So that's also very, very powerful. Other crystals that I love to use for stress are moonstones, and I have different moonstones. This is a green moonstone. I also have a rainbow moonstone. I have a black moonstone. That's some of them that I like to use because I love the moon and I consider myself in connection to the moon. And whenever I hold these, I feel so calm because I believe that if we just deepen our connection to the universe, it's also going to help us feel more grounded, stable, and just in harmony with ourselves. So these are really helpful for me, and they also help to elevate your spirituality. And most of the time when I am at my best, I feel really flowy in that area, and that is just a place where you feel really calm and balanced and all those things that you want to feel. So moonstones are great. Last but not least, black tourmaline. This is amazing, but I do not use this crystal to relieve stress or anxiety at all. This crystal is great for protection against negative energy. And if I feel like I have picked up somebody else's energy, or if I feel like I don't know what this is something that just came over me, maybe I've been in a meeting with someone who was stressed and I picked up on that. If you're a very empathic person, you can do that. You can pick up other people's energy, and it doesn't have to be someone that you even talk to. It can just be someone that you pass on the street. Maybe you get a phone call from someone who sounds stressed, or just whatever it can be. You can pick up the stress of the universe. I mean, you have no idea where it's coming from. This tourmaline is perfect because it will help you to protect yourself from all of those things that doesn't belong to you. So I will use this like all the time when I am out, when I'm on the subway or when I'm walking around in town. I will carry this with me to not pick up on somebody else's negative energy. And then when I have done that, so when I make sure that I've cleared myself from bad energy, that's when I can use some of the other crystals to help calm myself and work on my mental state. So that's a little bit about crystals, and I hope that you enjoyed this little segment. If you have any questions, you can just pop them in the comment section down below. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm so happy that you are watching my videos, and please return next time. I will be back next week with a new episode, and until then, bye!